This competition strives to promote the spirit of entrepreneurship throughout West Michigan. And actually, this is a consortium of West Michigan. I'm going to speak to that in just a minute. And tonight we're going to celebrate 14 hopefully future entrepreneurs. They certainly have the entrepreneur passion and they have the entrepreneur aptitude. My name is Amy Koning and I'm the Interim Associate Dean for the School of Workforce Development, and we just want to welcome you here to Grand Rapids Community College. Hopefully you did not have any problems finding your way here. I know sometimes it can get a little bit integral finding your way around our campus. What I'd like to do is just explain to you tonight a little bit, just give you an overview, and then I'm going to introduce a couple of people. First of all, you should understand that the 14 finalists that are going to be presenting to you tonight are actually the top 2 from 7 different schools. And I'd like to acknowledge those 7 different schools, if I may. Davenport, Hope, Calvin, GVSU, Aquinas, Cornerstone, and of course Grand Rapids Community College. I'd also like to give some special thanks, and I won't keep you too long, but I'd like to give a special thanks to the West Michigan Colleges and Universities group. We meet to coordinate these efforts. Some such things that come out of that would be this idea pitch, as well as in the spring, our business plan competition. Also, I'd like to acknowledge Grand Rapids Community College Business Department, who has helped putting this event on. The Entrepreneurship Growth Organization, otherwise known as EGO, our student group here at GRCC, has really done a fantastic job with this. I'm not sure how it was done at Grand Valley last year, but for this year, this is really a student-led competition for us, not the students that are in the finalists, by the way, outside students, if I may say so. And of course, I want to acknowledge Felix Pereiro, professor from the business department, who is really coordinating that team. So a special thanks to him, as well as Ernst & Young, who is providing financial support for this event. So if I may, I'd like to introduce Felix, and we're going to get underway.
Welcome, bienvenido to everybody here. We're very excited. As Amy mentioned, there's been over 250 students that have competed and registered for the idea pitch at 7 colleges. And today, each of the 7 colleges sends us their 2 finalists to compete on this very stage. What I would like to do is to give a nice warm round of applause for our 14 finalists that we have today. We also want to acknowledge and give a special mention to Ernst & Young for them providing the total prize money that will be given. So these students will be vying for today a first place prize money of $1,500, second place prize money of $1,000, and we reserve 2 third place prizes of $500. And again, thank you, Ernst & Young, for being so gracious and giving to our community. A round of applause for Ernst & Young, please. Now on to the introduction of our judges. We have 3 judges with us today. David Hugendorn is managing partner of Ernst & Young. He has over 20 years of experience serving the public and private clients in consumer products, retail, medical products, and automotive industries, many of which have significant global operations. So if we could have a nice warm round of applause for David. Sure, and Amy will be presenting the judges a nice gift as well from us. And this very special thank you from all the colleges. Jerry Scott, retired chairman of GHSB. Jerry is a veteran of 35 years in the automotive industry. In 1996, Jerry became president and CEO of Grand Haven-based GHSB, which is a leading supplier of driver controls for surface transportation vehicles. A nice warm round of applause for Jerry. Our third judge is Sally Mulder, CEO of Bernsma Distributing. Sally Mulder purchased Bernsma Distributing in 2006. Bernsma Distributing is a premier wholesaler and distributor of electronics with 5 branches, locations in Michigan and Ohio. So a nice warm round of applause. The 7 colleges that we have with us today that are sending us our students are all great colleges and make West Michigan a very special place to live, and we can't wait to hear from all of you. Aquinas College, Cornerstone University, Calvin College, Davenport University, Grand Valley State College, Grand Rapids Community College, as well as Hope College. So again, a special round of applause to all the colleges for all their hard work. It's our goal at the regional colleges and universities to help people in our community to turn their dreams into reality. It is our goal to explore the possibilities of reimagining a better world. It is our goal to help nurture that creative spirit that's in every human being. And that's why staff and faculty go to the universities and colleges every day, and we're here for our most prized asset in Michigan, which is our people and our students. So welcome to all of you, and welcome to the audience, because you have a very special treat coming up. Now, let's get the activity started. I know that's what you're waiting for, and all the finalists are a little bit nervous. So, first of all, we are going to introduce our first finalist, Chelsea Massler. From Aquinas College, is a business major, and she plans on attending law school after her 4 years at Aquinas. So Chelsea, the stage is yours. Yes, if you could please turn your phones off. Thank you.
I can start whenever?
Yes.
Okay. Just recently, my mom and aunt bought my grandma a computer. She wanted to connect with her friends, so I made her a Facebook account, and she found it difficult, if not impossible, to navigate the website. Therefore, I decided to create a new social networking website called Busby Easy, which I've already purchased. This website is going to be user-friendly. It's going to have easy-to-read font, an easy graphic user interface, and a tutorial video for purchase. It's going to have iPhone applications, games, and rentable movies. It will also have a blog where customers can interact with the website, and importing friends will be as easy as clicking a button. My target market is the baby boomer generation and older. They are not on current social networking websites right now because of their privacy settings. My website will allow customers to choose how much information they want to share, and depending upon this, they can search for people with similar interests. My initial costs will include website design, programming, and hiring at $30,000. My revenue model will consist of purchases from the tutorial video, iPhone applications, movies, and some advertising. My marketing strategy is through buzz marketing. This is where I'll have a group of interns go around and spread the news about the website through word of mouth. My team will consist of website designers, Apple employees, and an advertising committee. My future outlook of the website in the next several years is that I want it to be worldwide and react to feedback and change the website as needed. If I won, I would use the money towards creating and testing the website, since I've already taken the first step of purchasing it.
All right, thank you very much. And we'll take our first question
Yes.
from the judges. If you could take the mic, please, when you ask your question.
How do you plan to get started with your, it's a great idea. Getting started is always the difficulty, getting the momentum to get moving on this. And I think you mentioned you'd have students get the word out. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you would do that?
Yes, I'm going to have a group of interns, and these interns are going to be, they can either be students or non-students that have already graduated, as long as they have the business background and the marketing background that I need. And they're going to go around, and I'm going to start off in Grand Rapids, and they're going to go around like nursing homes and places where these older people are, and tell them about the website and inform them more about it, and in response to that, they can change, they can help and make the website better by having these people tell them, what they think about the website and improve it.
Do they have to start by getting their own grandmother to use it? Is that?
They can, yes, because that's a good way, another good way of spreading the news about the website, because once I tell my friends about it, they have grandparents and stuff that they want to connect with, and then their grandparents have friends, so then it spreads that way as well.
Are you going to have a baby boomer on your team?
A baby boomer, yes, I will. And I'm also want to get a bunch of older people too. I want as much of as like that generation to help me out with creating the website and improving it as I can.
And then how will you define privacy?
Privacy, my privacy settings will be like you can add as much information as you want, say like your likes and interests, or like the school you went to in high school, or the college you went to. You can add that if you want, and if you don't, you can make it private so no one else can see it.
I also tried to get my mother on the internet, and it's not easy. So my question is the ease of use. Is it really that easy for people from nursing homes to be able to manipulate this?
Yes, it is. And by easy of use, it's going to have the larger font. So people who can't see as well can use this website too that, have problems seeing. And also, my main feature for its easiness is that it's going to have that tutorial video that will take people who are using the website, and it'll take them step by step on how to use the actual website. And not only how to use the website, it's also going to help them learn how to use the iPhone applications and how to use the rentable movies. And I think that in my website, it not only will help with just my website, it's in general helping people learn how to use the search engines or renting movies just in general on the internet.
All right, let's give a round of applause to Chelsea.
Yes.
All right, our next finalist comes from the great college of Calvin College. Jerson G. Miranda Durante likes to play soccer, and he is majoring in business and philosophy. So let's give a nice warm round of applause to Jerson.
Jerson, and I put an H. Well, so whenever I start, use click. All right, cool. Hello, my name is Gerson Miranda, CEO of Metalnic, and I want to let you know about what's going on in Central America. According to Business News America, the Central American market is in the bullseye of the major purchasers of scrap metal in the world because of its geographical position, allows it to export the metals at a very cheap price in a very effective way, more than any other place in all of Latin America. My company, what we have is we have the only smelter in Nicaragua. And we have to note that there's not a smelter in Costa Rica, El Salvador, Honduras, and Panama. Our company is run by highly effective people, by highly qualified that have been in the market for years, and they know what they're doing. They know the social, economic, and political situation of the Central American market. Also, it's strategically placed in Nicaragua because it's at the core of Central America, and also because Nicaragua has the sufficient resources to allow our company to roll quite efficiently and at our max without needing any other resources from any external countries. Also, we are incorporated in the United States, and we issue stock to our investors who will have a 32 to 35% return in a 3-year time span. In a 3-year time span, not only will it be good for the economy of our investors, but also it will stimulate the Nicaraguan and Central American economy. There's an estimated of 100 families that will be impacted directly because of the jobs that are going to be created. And also, we're going to impact the environment. It's going to be quite a win-win situation. When can we meet together and talk about this further?
Very good. All right, judges.
This equipment what size is this equipment that you're going to need?
Well, the main thing is gonna be the furnace, and well, it's an investment of estimate of $200 million, and the biggest equipment is the furnace, which takes a lot of that cost. And it's gonna be a furnace, and it's gonna be specifically designed for copper, and that's what we're gonna specialize in.
So exactly how do you produce this 30 to 32% return in the public market?
Well, I have an estimate of, that estimate becomes because of predictions that I'm going to take away part of the the South American market, because people, instead of buying it from me, which is gonna be the major purchases right now are China and the U.S. And instead of buying it from South America, they're gonna buy it from Central America because it's gonna be more cheaper. So taking into account the returns from South America, that's where I get the 32 to 35%.
Have you done a financial break even on this to look at how much, and where are you going to get $200 million? Do you have a team put together? Or how are you going to convince someone to give you $200 million? That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. We're gonna break even in 3 years. And the investors that we're looking for are sophisticated investors that know what they're doing and they have experience in the market. And our stocks are gonna be restricted, and we're gonna have a buy-sell agreement with our investors.
Where will you get most of your copper from? Will you import from other outside Nicaragua, or will you mainly domestic? Is there that much copper in Central America where you have to import from other areas?
Well, we're gonna take most of the Central American market, but we're also gonna import from other places, because since we're gonna focus on copper, we're gonna have one of the best prices out there, maybe the best one in the entire area. So people are gonna ship it to us, and then we ship it to our customers.
All right, let's give a round of applause. Isn't that amazing? Our first two presenters, technology and globalization. And we have 3 judges. Well, that's $70 million apiece, I think, in investing, so that should work out there. Next, from the great university, Cornerstone University, Tim Bodich is a sophomore. Tim, come up and tell us about your idea.
As you may know, our Grand River's economy has damaged heavily in recent decades due to sewage and other pollutants. But do you know that our city has spent over $200 million to solve this problem? By the year 2019, all sewage discharges will be eliminated by use of alternate overflow sites. Due to these improvements, West Michigan finally has the ability to utilize the beauty of the Grand River for potential economic gain. My vision is to own and operate multiple ferry boats, transporting groups of people from Grand Rapids to Grand Haven via the Grand River. This will be Grand Rapids' biggest attraction for Midwest visitors and residents. As owner of the Grand Pedicab Company, a local bicycle taxi service, I and many other local downtown tourist industries have seen the profitability of the businesses here in the downtown district, as seen through events such as Art Prize. In relation to the Grand Pedicab Company's success, proven by means of man-powered bicycles, the Grand Ferry Company will also be self-sustaining through the use of straight vegetable oil. Let me explain. SVO-powered vehicles, that is straight vegetable oil, boast lubricated engines as a result of the oil's viscosity type, providing better miles per gallon and longevity while producing toxic-free emissions. And here's the best part. When you go to your local Burger King, you can get this oil for absolutely free. But the EPA claims our nation is dumping a majority of the 3 billion gallons of waste vegetable oil we produce annually into landfills and municipal water pipes, creating blocking to our sewer systems, as we're experiencing here in the city of Grand Rapids with the Grand River. Why are we wasting this natural resource in our land and water? We need to capitalize in it to literally fuel the future of our state's economy. Thank you. Questions?
Hello. I guess we already have a ferry boat that runs there a couple times.
The Grand Lady, correct.
The Grand Lady, and they have a certain market and if the boat goes there and it's not filled, have you done market studies to determine, is there really a market for this, and what's the price point that people would be willing to pay to do that? And would you do a round trip during the day, or like the Grand Lady does? I think they stay overnight there in Grand Haven and then come back the next day.
We're looking at round trip deals to capitalize on the profitability in a one-time basis. And they've been in business for 17 years. I just talked to the owner, Bill, today. Is this on? Okay, it turned off for a second. Yeah, Bill's doing great. The business has been fine. There is a market for it. We have crowded streets during Art Prize and throughout the summer, for that matter.
I'm just curious how you can explain the vegetable oil supply chain.
Sure.
And how you're going to make sure you have enough vegetable oil to produce your runs on a daily basis.
Thanks for asking that. As I said, there's over 3 billion gallons that are produced annually in our nation, and our restaurants are throwing it in the sewers and causing the sewage to overflow in our river. That's a problem. We need to fix that. And this is going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Or keep 2 birds alive with a
Yeah.
one stone.
This is environmentally friendly, and you're seeing the river like you haven't seen ever before.
How many boats, taxis do you think you'll have?
I think we're going to start out with one like the Grand Lady. We're going to have 100 passengers on that one. We're going to have Florida Everglade kind of alligator tour style fan boats that will also jet with 10 passengers, so smaller sized, intimate settings.
Will you have stops along the way?
Yes, yep, definitely. We'll have at least 2 ports, such as the Grand Lady. They have a fruit port and Spring Lake stop between Grand Rapids and Grand Haven.
And what is your funding plan? How are you going to raise funds for the boats?
Raising funds, looking at, obviously, grants would help out a lot, but I'm sure there'd be many in-state investors that would be willing to fund a company that would be giving back to the state economy, such as mine. Again, on the vegetable oil, my family's traveled 60,000 miles for free across the nation several times. It's very lucrative, very productive, very messy, but very fun.
All right.
Thanks.
Now our finalist from Davenport University with honors in accounting, Zach Schofield. Let's give him a round.
Tonight, I would like to talk to you about why my business is needed. My business is Business Initialization Services, which is helping small businesses start, stay, and succeed. What my basic business plan is would be set a company up in 5 different departments: accounting, marketing, management, HR, and legal. The goal would be to have the accounting department go into this company, set up a proper accounting system, apply the system, and choose it for the proper company to fit the company. The HR department would be responsible for helping hire proper employees and just get them into the proper setting and hire them correctly. The legal department would be responsible for helping fill out forms, set up patents, copyrights, name brands. The management team would be there to train the new employees, to help train the management there on how to properly maintain the employees. And then the marketing department would be there to help set up the company and set up a marketing plan in order to get the name out into the community. The reason why I say my business is needed is because last year, over 650,000 businesses went out, while only 550,000 went in. So my goal would be to help small businesses start, stay in the community, and succeed. Thanks.
A consulting firm.
Correct.
How many employees do you think you'll start with?
To start off with, I'd like 2 teams, which would probably be about 10 employees. So 2 from each department.
So how will you recruit these employees, and how will you fund their salary?
Right. The initial setup fees are relatively low for my company. So how I'd fund these fees would be to actually use small businesses to start off with in order to gain about $5,000 for the initial setup, and then each quarter have $1,200 fees for review and setup. And how I'd find these employees would be the large market of employees who are currently out of work and colleges such as the ones we have represented here today.
There's a lot of different small businesses. Of the 650,000 that you mentioned that went out of business, there's everything from retail outlets to engineering, consulting firms, and so on. Do you see that as far as the 5 areas that you identified, would that be one size fits all, or would you have to tailor that to fit a number of different applications and businesses?
Obviously, businesses have special needs. Hopefully, within that 5 areas of setup, it'll be mainly for small companies, so it will be majority one size fits all in order to capitalize on their unique needs. So, obviously, different programs for each department.
Okay, thank you.
Very good, thank you. Our next finalist from Grand Valley State University, majoring in sales and marketing. Please give a nice warm round of applause for Jeremiah Cornell.
Hi, I'm Jeremiah Cornell, and my company, Ameribridge, is going to change the way we teach culture. As Americans, we're a pretty odd bunch. We leave the comforts of our homes to go camping in tents. We buy brand new jeans with rips and holes already in them. And we even go to the beach and fry our skin just because we think it looks good. For an international student, making sense of all this can be very difficult. I studied abroad and also did an internship in China. I know firsthand just what it feels like to be thrust into a culture different from my own. I also know that culture isn't something you can learn in a book. It needs to be experienced. Ameribridge is a peer-assisted culture training program. We hire American college students as mentors for our foreign friends. Students meet 2 to 3 times per week for activities such as going to the mall, going to the beach, or having barbecues. We're also just a phone call away to answer any questions that come up in their daily lives. We differ from school-sponsored international student programs in that they lack the funding and manpower necessary to be truly effective. Today, there are nearly 700,000 international students studying in the US. We require just 12 to be successful. While in China, I established relationships with people already in the international student industry. They're eager to start sending students our way. Today, we're asking for an investment of $7,000 to help purchase a van, marketing materials, and management expenses. Ameribridge, the international students' bridge to American culture and fun. Thank you.
Who would you have as the American representative? Would they be students here in America, and how would you recruit them?
Yes, that's actually really like the bread and butter of our program is finding the good students that are really going to put a lot of effort into helping these international students adapt. What we've talked about is using international relations students, maybe talking to some professors at the local colleges, possibly even offering an internship program for them. Does that answer your question?
What would be their incentive to do that?
It would be a paid program. So it would be a job for them, a part-time job.
Do you have any idea what would the rate be for that? How much money could they make minimum wage, or how would you compensate them?
Depending on the number of students and what program they decide to go into, our profit margin is between 50 and 60%. So we actually, that's on a $9 per hour rate, but we have a lot of room to up that if necessary.
Thank you.
So you said you need 12 people to start.
Yes, sir.
And is that 12 different international students?
Yeah,
or is
that's, at first we're going to start in the Grand Rapids area. That's really going to be our incubation area. The 12 students is a nice number for 4 mentors. And we want to keep that ratio really nice and tight so that the students really get a one-on-one chance to basically mingle with Americans. That we plan to open up in other cities, but that 12 students is kind of what we we're thinking we could expand if necessary.
So you have looked at this by country or by region? Because there's a lot of different countries, obviously, that you
Well,
could try to.
to go about that, I've noticed that students from Southeast Asia tend to have the most difficult time when adjusting to American lifestyle. Also, they are India, China, Taiwan, and Japan account for half of all the students who come here. So that's why we're trying to focus on just the students from Southeast Asia, but we'll also accept students from any other country.
And so how did you come up with $9 per hour?
I would be happy to make
Because
$9.
it's less than 10?
Yeah.
Is your plan to cover the entire Grand Rapids area and perhaps all the colleges that are represented here today? Or are you going to focus more on, one university or one college to begin with?
Yeah, well, the original idea was to just cover it by college, but after talking to other people and the international students in the area, I've noticed that some of them like to go to the art school, some of them like to go to the community college, and others the universities. So I think just having a group in the metro area of Grand Rapids would be the most efficient way for us to go about this.
Thank you very much. All right, our next finalist from Grand Rapids Community College, Zachary Schwartz. Please welcome him to the podium. He is studying business administration to receive his bachelor as he transfers to one of the great four-year institutions and someday be his own boss.
Thank you. Picture yourself walking on a white sandy beach, the sounds of waves crashing, creaking of palm trees swaying in the wind, sunset mesmerizing over the ocean's horizon. Click the remote. You are now on a mountain trail at 10,000 feet above sea level, with glacier lakes and mountain peaks surrounding you. Now take your 3D glasses off. You almost forgot you're in the living room working out. My future company, Trailblazers Productions, will film the most exotic trails in 3D. People who use treadmills and stationary bikes will have the luxury of not only working out, but at the same time escaping from reality with the click of a button. I will center my target market for people in the city who don't have the option of easily visiting the wilderness to relieve themselves from the stress of their daily life. Not only can this product be perfect for in-home use, but also for fitness centers who have TVs incorporated with their equipment. DVDs would offer options such as the sounds of nature or calming sounds, 3D as well as 2D, and offer DVD extras such as first-person trail biking, kayaking, skydiving, just to name a few. This product has a relatively low startup cost considering my partner and I already own most of the equipment necessary to begin production. With 3D technology progressing, I believe compatible televisions will be in most homes by the time Trailblazers is ready to begin production. I'm excited. I hope you're excited because Trailblazers is going to take us places. Thank you.
Hello? Hello. What is your marketing plan?
My marketing plan is basically start out at the free marketing source of Facebook and all of that networking. Also going around to fitness centers and having a sit down with them, talking to them, doing direct mail. I would like to go around to different backcountry, Boyne country, different outdoor places that you can find people who enjoy the outdoors and would like to, escape from the city almost. Yeah.
So my first reaction was, how do you keep people from getting hurt while they're wearing 3D glasses on treadmills?
Well, that is a very good question. The glasses are obviously, they're not something that enclosed entirely. There's openings around, and it's kind of, that is a liability, and it does need to be looked into further, and that's a great question. I just would hope that people could stay on it, not fall down,
And how then will you protect the value of your investment? Because DVDs are pretty easily copied, and someone could easily reproduce that and put their own 3D glasses on? How will you protect your investment?
Well, I am in the process of talking to a patent attorney right now. We're going to start to figure out what is patentable and what is really able to keep private. And obviously, I'm going to put in the beginning, like all of the DVDs, as warnings to not reproduce and all that. And hopefully, with a good patent, I'll be able to track those people down and make them pay, whatever it takes.
Well, I think it's a great idea. It's enabled by new technology, so I would say it's for certain going to come. But the question I would have is when and how much. And it may be the cost to do this may be prohibitive given today's environment. You're really on the leading edge of some things that, while it's out there, it may be very hard and expensive to implement. So timing is important, but have you given thought to how much money you would need in the first year to get started? I know you said you had the equipment, but there's a lot more than just having the equipment. You've got to have the time, the production of the material, and then you've got to be able to reproduce the material and distribute it. And there's an awful lot involved with actually doing that. And today, maybe 2 years from now. So what's it going to cost you in the first year? And can you give us some idea of that?
Yeah, absolutely. For the first year, I'm looking at about a little under $30,000 to get started. That includes the 3D camera, HD. It's a Panasonic AG 3D. It's a small, but about this big. You get a camera stabilizer is up to $2,500. That's top quality, and so it's going to have a nice, smooth ride. Those are the two biggest, as well as the 3D compression program for the computer. Now, the equipment that we already have is all of the backpacking gear to stay out for 10 days or more. I'm a big backpacker myself, so I do have all of that gear as well as my partner. Thank you.
Very good. Nice round.
Thank you.
Our next finalist is from Hope College, majoring in business management with minors in leadership and communication. Please welcome to the stage Lindsay Aldward.
Okay. Hope you can see this. This is your typical American family. Mrs. Smith, Mr. Smith, Billy, Sally, and Bobby. Mr. and Mrs. Smith are outnumbered, and they live a very busy life. Let's take a look. The day in the life of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Mr. and Mrs. Smith are at work, while Billy, Bobby, and Sally are at school. Sally needs to get to dance, and Billy and Bobby need to get to basketball, among other activities. What will Mr. and Mrs. Smith do? They can call Rent-A-Parent for parents that can't be in two places at once, a trustworthy organization comprised of retirees to meet your needs when you're in a bind. Let's see how this works. Mr. and Mrs. Smith are at work. Mrs. Smith can simply call Rent-A-Parent, and Rent-A-Parent, already having an established account, can then send a representative down to pick up Billy, Bobby, and Sally from school and bring them on home into the activities that they need to go to. So now Mr. and Mrs. Smith can be at two places at once with Rent-A-Parent.
In today's environment where security is so important,
Right.
One of the things you would need in order to, for Mrs. Smith to be able to call somebody to pick up Johnny from school, you can't rely on just one person. You'll have to have a way of polling through a number of different people. And how do you handle a stranger showing up at school to pick up Johnny?
Yeah, that's a very good question. This would be an organization, and they would already have previous accounts with these clientele or these people, retirees that would be working there already, and they'd already be screened by this organization, and so they would have interviews with these retirees, a family member would, and selected the ones that they want. And so it's all about building relationships, and to get to your point, when they send this representative to a school, let's say, the school would already have that information and would already have a card or identification that they would check to make sure that this is the right person.
How
Yep.
much lead time would Mrs. Smith have to give in order to have, would she have to call like 10 minutes before Johnny needs to get picked up, or would that be a weekly, monthly schedule, or how does that work?
Yeah, and this organization would have the work times on average that Mr. and Mrs. Smith would be working, and the retirees would already have this schedule blocked off just in case, so they're on call and they know when this time would be.
So what will Mr. and Mrs. Smith have to pay the organization for this service?
Good question. Yeah, the service would be minimal, and since these are retirees, they're working really not for the income, but they would get reimbursed for gas and just a minimal side. So it would be kind of like babysitting, that type of minimum wage, but it wouldn't be extraordinary. It'd be manageable for the parents to pay for.
Why did you choose the retirees?
Yeah, that's a good question too. Because I think that retirees, they want to be a part of children's lives. Like my grandparents, for example, want to be a part of my life, and they want to give back. And so retirees would be the perfect target for this and would love to help in any way that they can after they're done working.
It is not easy to come up on stage and look out at all of you, so the finalists are doing an incredible job, and with 3 distinguished judges and the questions, it just builds excitement every time that they hear more of your questions. Now we're making the turn. We have 7 more finalists that'll grace us with their presence on this stage. Nick Roche from Aquinas College is majoring in sustainable business. Please welcome Nick to the stage with a nice round of applause.
Anytime or? Anytime. All right. 3 million homes in Michigan pay over 20% of income to energy costs. The SEC complex is an energy controlling fuse box, which will save both the energy as well as money. Switches near exits will initiate like a low power setting for each one of the devices within a home. The average energy cost in Detroit is $70 per month. And with this device, it would be saving $14 a month. And for the 3 million target right now, it would be a $42 million per month, which is $504 million per year in savings. 7% of the profits would create about $35 million in revenue per year. The cost of building an SEC complex is $240, which would be payable by a year and a half by the savings. This product mimics a light board that I operated over for high school over 3 years. And SEC Alliance will most likely partnership with Consumers Energy for distribution. The funding would provide a necessary research to design a prototype.
Very relevant idea today. And so what I understand is it will cut the energy cost by saving energy. Are we talking about natural gas?
It's actually, what it does is it brings a low setting down in the home. So when it's essentially like if you run around and unplug everything in your house, it's essentially that's what you're doing, except it's all controlled by one switch. So someone can just, when they leave the house, they can flip a switch and it'll bring everything down to a low setting. So it'll be savings over in the long run.
And the $240 is for the installation?
That is for the actual product. The installation, I'm still looking into it. They'll probably be roughly $300, which in 2 years, then the consumer will start making profit off it. So
And who would do that installation?
it would be my company as well as working with Consumers Energy.
Thank you.
And what's the life of one of these products? Is it 2 years, 3 years?
I'm assuming it's going to be 7 to 10 years. So each one of those times, after those years, they'll probably reinvest in another one, but the savings will be beneficial for everything.
So how did you calculate the 18-month payback?
Oh, yes. Each one of the savings, it's $14 on an average for savings per month. And paying with the $10 to go to paying for the actual product, that's about 1.5 years. So.
What type of technology do you plan to use? Would this be X10 technology, or what? How's it going to work?
Well, one of the things, I was a light technician for a couple of years, and what we used is a light board, and it's like the same exact programming, except for it would be in a house setting. So, does that answer your question at all? Or?
Not really. How do you get to the individual lights in the house? Do you have to run a separate wire, or?
They'd actually run through the fuse box, so each one of like the outlets, it would be for a specific outlet. So the certain amount of energy that would go to a certain outlet, you can bring it down to a lower level when you're not using it. So.
Okay, thank you.
Very well. We'd like to give a very special thank you to all the student volunteers at all the 7 colleges and universities that made the Idea Pitch competition in 2010 possible, and also to the Collegiate Entrepreneurs Organization CEO, and also to the Entrepreneurial Growth Organization, EGO. So please, a nice round of applause for all our student volunteers. All right, next finalist from Calvin College, majoring in business, marketing, and Japanese. He hails from Chicago, and he's going into the video game industry. Jamal Fridge.
Thank you. All right, good evening, everyone. Tell me, have you ever had a tune in your head that you wish other people could hear? Well, unless you know how to compose music or play an instrument, unfortunately, no one ever will. And that's unfortunate because that's a waste of tremendous talent. And learning to compose or play music is like learning another language. But the development team that I've come up with has a solution to that problem. It's a video game called Humming Maestro for the Nintendo DS. It's basically a game that comes with a device that attaches to your throat, and it records and transcribes your humming patterns into music notation. So this way you don't need to necessarily have a background in music theory or work in a recording studio in order to create great music. Basically, our revenue model is the Nintendo DS has an install base of over 130 million users, the highest selling console in history. In addition to that, we expect this game to be a big hit with young people, with music lovers, with music producers, and those who aspire to be musical artists. Essentially, what this game does is it bridges the gap between music conception and music composition. Basically, the intent is to make it as simple as possible so that anyone can create and build great music. We expect this to be a very profitable product. If we can we sit down and talk further about the idea and what it needs?
Very good.
What is the end game? Where will you generate the revenue? You mentioned game.
Yes.
Are you considering that this would be something that you would sell the music to somebody, or is it actually a game that you would, and how does that all work?
Basically, it's just a music creation game. It's not, it's not you're creating content with the purpose of selling it. It's creating the content and transitioning, transferring it over to sheet music so that it can be played, if you all did have something like a band, or it basically opens up that option for you.
So your revenue comes from selling the software, basically.
Yes.
What happens if you're tone deaf?
Well, one of the best things about this idea is, or one of the strengths I believe that we're building into it, because the purpose is simplicity and accessibility. Let's say that you are tone deaf. Well, go with the octave that's comfortable for you, and based on that level, you can adjust the octave higher or lower depending, where you want the instrument to be. So that won't be a problem at all.
So when I hum, and I
Yes.
don't hum well, I hum somebody else's tune. And so I would essentially be reproducing somebody else's music. So how do you manage the copyright issues?
Really, I suppose you could yes, you could theoretically, hum someone else's music, but you're not supposed to be selling that to begin with. There will be that disclaimer in the game saying we're not responsible for the legal ramifications of your stealing somebody else's music.
Is your distribution channel through Nintendo?
Nintendo? Yes, we do plan to have it licensed by Nintendo. We do plan to purchase the official development kit for the Nintendo DS. That being said, because the DS is currently transitioning to the next system, Nintendo 3DS, and that's backwards compatible with the DS, we'll have a further expanded market. Development costs, we believe, will be somewhere at most $1.5 million at most. And we'll break even at selling 20,000 units. If we sell even a mediocre 500,000 units, for those that invest in it, like if there was a sole investor, they would basically make 7 to 8 times back what they invested.
Is this precedent setting for Nintendo, or do they purchase ideas?
No. We're going to be a third party. So we're just licensing, like they're just licensing, to us.
Is
I'll
this
put it that-
common for them?
Yes. That's the lifeblood of their systems.
Judges, you're tough. IP, technology. I didn't see the tone deaf them coming. That's a very excellent job. From Cornerstone University, majoring in accounting, please welcome to the stage Melanie Krager.
As I'm sure many of you know, one of the most frustrating things about going to the grocery store is waiting in line. There never seems to be enough cashiers working or checkout lanes open. And even with the growing popularity of the self-checkout lane, you can still find yourself waiting for up to 15 minutes. Well, I think the idea of a self-checkout lane is a good idea. I want to take that idea to a whole new level. I want to use the technology already in place with the self-checkout lanes to transform a shopping cart into a portable checkout lane. This device would actually be an insert that fits inside of your normal shopping cart, and it would be available for customers to rent at the front of a grocery store. For $3, a customer could use one of these inserts and forego waiting in line. Each insert would have all of the same features as a self-checkout lane. It would have a barcode scanner, a scale system, and a display screen. A customer using one of these inserts would actually scan each item before they put it into their cart. Once the item is in the cart, the scale system would weigh each item and confirm that it matches the item that was scanned. The display screen would then offer customers the control that they desire. They can use the display screen and push buttons to indicate if they need to remove an item from the cart, and also insert codes for items that wouldn't scan. The display screen would also be used to complete the checkout process. A customer would indicate on the screen that they're ready to pay, and they complete the process right there on their own cart. They never have to wait in line. An average American wastes up to 5 years of their life standing in line. Imagine what you could do with an extra 5 years.
Have some development costs. Have you thought about the research and development of this product?
Yes. Research and development costs actually would not be too high because a lot of the technology is already in place as it's being used with the self-checkout lanes. We would use that same technology. The research and development costs would come from just designing the inserts, obviously, and you have to be prepared for things like if the insert is outside, weather, and how it's going to be protected from that. But there is actually, in Europe, they're using a similar type of thing. It's not exactly the same, but there's nothing like it in the US, but we could borrow some of the design from the ones that are being used in Europe.
I have two really practical questions.
Okay.
One is, what do I do with my bottle return slip and my coupon?
Okay. Those, you can use it the same as it's used at the self-checkout lane. It would scan just like you scan your products. You would scan because those things have, barcodes on them for it to scan. And there would just be a slot that you stick it into like they do at the self-checkout lane.
And then my other question is, how do you protect the store from selling products to underage persons?
Yeah. Things like that just kind of limit the idea in a little way that they would need authorization to purchase them. Just like when you scan the items at a self-checkout lane, it requires a cashier to come and verify it. It would work the same way that you would have to have somebody verify if you were going to purchase something like that.
And I can't get cash back?
No.
I assume your customers would be the big box retailers. Would that be your direct customer?
Yeah, I think what I want to do is have it be an insert that, obviously the stores are going to own it and the shopping customers rent it. So.
But the first thing you have to do is sell it to Myers or
Right, yes.
or Home Depot or
Yes.
somebody like that.
Right.
Have you talked to any of those people about your idea? It's a good idea. I just, you need to get input from them early
Right,
in
yeah.
the process to see, what their thoughts are.
Right. No, I haven't, but I will.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Very good. I just wanted to check on one of our finalists. Matt DeYoung from Davenport University, did he check in with us yet? No. Okay, if he does, please let us know. Okay, we're going to move on to our next finalist from Grand Valley State University, double majoring in operations management and marketing. Please welcome Frank Leonard.
Good afternoon. My name is Frank Leonard, and I am the creator of the keg regulator that is meant for bars and restaurants. Essentially, the way my product works is my regulator is attached to the tap of a keg. As alcohol flows through my regulator, the information is transmitted to a computer, which calculates the exact time of sale, exact fluid ounces that goes through the keg, and exact volume that is left in the keg. Now, let's say you have Sam Adams on draft at your bar or restaurant, and it currently takes you 2 to 3 weeks to sell this keg. You will be able to know exactly how much is left in this keg, so you don't always have to have a second one waiting in the back. Another thing my product can do is prevent employees from giving away free beer. Now, on average, it costs a bar establishment $40 to $50 per keg, and there's about 112 16-ounce beers in each keg. If you sell those beers at $3 a piece, you're making over a 600% profit off of each beer sold. If you have one unfaithful employee giving away 3 free beers a day, that can mean over a loss of over $3,000 per year from that single employee. Now, my main objective is to get it in all franchises, such as Applebee's, Texas Roadhouse, and other places like that. If you want to change the way that we buy and sell draft beer here in the United States and the world, you may contact me at leonardf@mail.gvsu.edu.
I think it's a great idea, and I think the problem has been around for quite a long time, where you have bartenders in busy bars will give away free drinks, and so from a control point of view, it's a great idea. I got to believe that this problem has been addressed before. Have you looked at your competitors with this, and who else is out there, and how do bar owners control that? That they call it theft of the beer or free bartenders giving away. How do they control that today?
It's a very good question. Currently, it's basically based on a trust system. I mean, you're supposed to say when you like sell a beer. They have one thing that's similar to mine, but it does nothing like that. When you pull it forward, it clicks as one. So it counts as one beer sold. I could fill up one beer, fill up another beer, fill up another beer, fill up another beer, and all it says is I sold one beer. And essentially, if you can't always trust your employees, so this will cut out people from doing that. And if you have a customer that comes in there that's a regular and you want to give them a free beer, all you have to do is fill out the slip saying exact time of sale, this is when it happened, so you can regulate when that happened.
You said that this changes the way you sell beer. I'm thinking it changes the way you manage your inventory of beer. Isn't that really what you're after?
Yeah, but another thing you can do is by calculating the exact time of sale, you can compare it to your food sales to know when's the best time to sell that certain type of beer, such as on a game night or afternoon or night, what beers would sell better. You can make your food specials and dinner specials around that.
Do you have the development of this product
Currently, I'm sorry, were you talking?
just thought through? I mean,
Yeah, currently I'm talking to one of the professors up at Grand Valley State University. I'm going to try and have the engineering school develop a prototype for him, which will save a lot of money. And with a little more investment, I can make it working perfectly fine and be able to have it distributed.
Beer and college students. I didn't see that coming. Tonight. From Grand Rapids Community College, majoring in business administration, looking forward to move on to one of the other fine institutions for his bachelor. He plans to pursue a bachelor's degree at Ferris State University. In fact, he's already chosen. So let's welcome to the stage Mr. Kevin Adams.
ICU offers peace of mind combining today's technology and personal awareness to anyone who does not want to be a victim of car burglary and theft. 616,000 car burglaries and thefts were recorded in 2009, according to the National Insurance Crime Bureau. Michigan ranks 6th in states with the highest car burglary and theft. The NICB recommends a safety warning system and a deterrent device. ICU provides just that. Imagine for a moment you park down the block from the end of your softball game. Now your car alarm goes off. Your car alarm sounds and a camera mounted inside will be powered and activated immediately, taking 2 still photos of your car's interior and adjacent exterior parts. Now you are immediately notified through a text message and 2 photo alarms going through your vehicle and the disturbance of your vehicle. The 180-degree panoramic viewing camera displaying the activity around your car. Now you can call 911 from where you are. You can call with the immediate response, saving time and money. The instant flash of the camera will signify to would-be thieves that they have just been identified, and you, the owner, now are equipped with photos and video of the event. ICU is a must for the professional and everyday busy consumer who believes in protecting the luxuries of life. ICU provides quick and critical information needed to stay safe in today's society.
another relevant idea in today's society. It seems as though your competition could be General Motors, Chrysler, Toyota, Prince Corporation. You know, we're talking some sophisticated and large companies that have come out with some products for theft issues. How will you compete with them? Or is that your target market?
it is my target market if anyone who owns a car. So competing with them, I will, but also cooperating with them as well. Some of the vehicles that they have rear-mounted cameras. My system can be adapted to that to also provide extra security or extra viewing for the photos. So competing with them, yes. Also aftermarket. A lot of car companies don't want to incur the cost to put in an alarm system rather than the regular basic systems they come with. So a lot of people who want that extra protection will go to the aftermarket.
Will you partner with insurance companies to reduce insurance costs because of your product?
I have spoken with several insurance companies, and they have mentioned that they do like the idea and that they do offer discounts to their clients who have safety measures in place. They did not specify if they would get a greater discount with having pictures, but I also spoke with law enforcement, and they said those are great things to bring to court.
Just to take off on the first question a little bit, have you come up with a target price that you would sell your product for? And then the second part of the question is through what distribution channel? You mentioned aftermarket. It seems like that would be a good choice to get started at least. And who would do the installation and how much would that cost?
Well, I have pricing for a camera for a 180-degree angle. For just the one camera unit, looking at roughly $250 for the unit. I'm sorry, my whole unit would be $270. That includes installation. That would be a professional installation. Just being as Sirius Radio, to start out, you want to have it professionally installed to protect the brand name. Eventually, Sirius went to allowing people to install it themselves. But again, to protect the brand name, to have professional installation around $150, but the unit would cost $250, so total probably around $400.
Thank you.
Our next finalist, majoring in studio art from Hope College. Please welcome to the stage Erica Morales.
Thank you for having me here, everyone. I'm a nanny of two 9-year-old twins, and I have found that there's a big problem. They are 9 years old and they still sleep in their mother's bed. They are terrified of dark, scary places that lurk underneath their bed, let alone their entire upstairs, which is cold, large, and it creaks. I have come up with a solution for this problem, and it is Okies. Fun, colorful, cute, creative monsters that stay underneath your bed and let kids know it's okay to go to sleep. These little monsters are guardians that bring colorful creativity to dark, scary places, eliminating fear that children have all over not only Michigan, this nation, but the world. I have designed over 40 different designs of cute little Okies, and this item is very scalable. We can not only make Okies for underneath the bed, but it can also be brought onto a whole new level for bedroom products and collector's items. Thank you so much.
Would these be like stuffed animals, or are they just like decals that you would attach, or how would that work?
Good question. I've actually started to create prototypes of them made out of 100% corrugated cardboard, and they come with a built-in stand. They can easily be sold, hung up at the store. They pop out of the cardboard with the stand, and they act like screens, so the child can't see the darkness behind the bed. But ultimately, I would love to see these as touch night lights, or they can be made out of metal or even like Nerf material.
What's your startup investment requirement?
These are self-sufficient. I can actually start making them tomorrow. I've actually started prototyping them. I've got a copyright license, and all I have to do is draw them out, and I scan them. I color them on Photoshop. I print them out, and then I can actually mount them right onto corrugated cardboard myself.
How will you get the word out to parents?
I am a student at Hope, but I've also talked a lot to different professors. I am a nanny, and my nanny has a lot of, the lady I babysit for has a lot of connections. And I've designed a binder that will include the pictures of the Okies and my contact information and envelopes if they want to take envelopes and are interested in giving the envelopes to their friends and family. And I will actually have a website. We just purchased the domain name myokies.com, and I can start producing them anytime.
How did you come up with the name Okie?
Okies actually was something that I say as an okay, like just on the internet saying, Okies, have a good night, which is our tagline. And it's just something that I found myself saying instead of okay. Like if someone asks me, oh, can you meet me here? And I'll just be like, Okies.
Thank you.
Yep.
Very good. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't miss any of the finalists. Have all the finalists presented? Is there anybody that we missed? No? Okay, we'd like to thank all the finalists, the judges. You have a very difficult task ahead of you. They've given their hearts and souls to you. They've thought it through, and now they'll be waiting just a little bit longer. But one of the things we want to say on behalf of all the colleges and universities, that you're all winners today. You've made it a long way, and remember that if you take a look at all the great entrepreneurs, they've had to go through several iterations of inventions and innovations in order to arrive at their destination, whether it's Mark Zuckerberg with Facebook, or if it's Larry and Sergey with Google, or Steve Jobs with Apple. They've all had their trying times. And we have to remember Fred Smith as well, that received from one of the professors a C grade on his paper of something that would probably not work, called Federal Express. So again, thank you very much. A big round of applause for all our 14 finalists. And now, while the judges deliberate, we have a gift, and Amy Koning will present while you're away, a gift to each one of our finalists. So judges, if you could go to the back, and I'll join you in a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to stretch and talk to each other, get some fresh air, the judges will deliberate for approximately 20 to 25 minutes, and we'll see you back real soon. Checks here to give out here in a moment. But first of all, thank you very much for your patience. When we're trying to make decisions on these things, the judges, I think, did a wonderful job in debating and arguing the merits of each idea. They really liked all the ideas that were presented. And so what we're going to do is, first we're going to ask for the the finalists to come up. We have a prize for you that Amy is going to give you, and then we're going to allow each of the judges to say a few final words to everyone, especially the finalists. And then comes the moment where we present the big checks for the 4 places, and we look forward to that as well. So if I could please have the finalists at this time, would you please come forward and receive a nice gift from all of us at the 7 colleges to you before we announce the winners. Amy, if you'd like to. Okay. Oh, wow. Yes. Here, I'll put this. Okay. Very good. Here you go. these are full of money, please report to the IRS office. Thank you very much. Very good. Do you still have your mic? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll turn it over to our judges for some final words before the presentation of the prizes.
Just 10 seconds. What a talented group of kids. We were privileged to, listen to your ideas. The ideas were relevant. They were relevant to culture. They were relevant to energy conservation. They were just relevant to where we live and work today. So it was very, just a pleasure to hear you all, and just wanted to let you know that we were very impressed.
Well, I think you all would aspire to be entrepreneurs, and one of the things about entrepreneurs is you have to take a risk. And the difficult part is that you don't always win. That's what risk is all about. So it was a very hard decision today. We went through a lot of discussion. As you know, we took a little bit longer. And you all did very, very well. Very pleased, and it was a delight to be here and see all the enthusiasm. It's really great. And one of my favorite saying is that if you want to succeed, you have to be willing to fail. And so don't ever think that failure is a bad thing. It's a learning experience. So please take that away from here. Every one of you did a great job. Thank you very much.
I just echo what both of my fellow judges said, but you guys each did a great job. You're the reason that when I wake up in the morning, I feel good about what's going on in America today. Each one of you has great ideas. You'll each be successful. And, I just would tell you, just stay with it. And it also just really convinces me that we have some of the best educational opportunities in West Michigan that one could have. And it really just makes me proud that each of these institutions are here in our city.
And thank you very much. And I also would like to give a round of applause. This prize money would not have been possible if it wasn't for the gracious support from Ernst & Young. So thank you very much. Well, now to what we've been waiting for. In fourth place, with a cash prize of $500, Aquinas College, Nicholas Roja. There we go. Give him another round of applause. Thank you. In third place, from the great university, Cornerstone University, Melanie Krager. Another round of applause for Melanie. Congratulations, Melanie. Excellent job. In second place, $1,000 prize money goes to Frank Leonard, Grand Valley State University. Again, another round of applause. Thank you, sir. Oh boy, here we go. 300 some students competed in all the colleges, and it comes down to the winner of the second annual Regional Idea Pitch Competition 2010. From the great university, Grand Valley State University, Jeremiah Cornell. Excellent job. Thank you, audience. Thank you, judges. Thank you, all the representatives from all the universities. This concludes our second annual Idea Pitch. We will see you next year. Thank you.